grid as they wait for the lights to go out. The revs are building. Let's go racing.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, punters of all ages, we welcome you to round 3, split 1 of wheel-to-wheel racing action here in season 9. Tonight we're racing 28 laps at Suzuka in the Ferrari 458, where tonight it's all about tyre management, it's all about fuel management and making those last the 28 laps. Squidley, you've just had a good result in your split 2. Talk us through how this race is likely to unfold and some of the strategies that will come to play tonight.
Look, you've hit the nail on the head there, Devil. It's all about tyre management and fuel management in this first enduro of the wheel-to-wheel season 9. It's a very technical track here at Suzuka, and we'll see a lot of the different strategies where the guys go for the 1-stop, 2-stop or 3-stop. They're all fairly valid strategies. The main strategy, of course, being the 2-stop with the requirement to run mediums at some point during this race. But generally, if you look after those tyres and you try to stay out of trouble, you're going to see yourself with a good result here tonight.
Yeah, I can't see too many people going a 3-stop strategy, but certainly the 1-stop is something that's been spoken about and has been practiced by a few people with limited and sporadic success. So for me, I think the ideal strategy is 2-stop. But these are our split 1 Div 1 drivers, so they are a different kettle of fish altogether. Now tonight, interesting that we have Pure Axel, who is now our championship leader in Div 1, and Apex is only 3 points behind Pure Axel, and a bit of a way back to Fixer Chris. But Pure Axel's been lightning quick all season. He's been lightning fast in these Ferraris. We haven't seen a lot of him in practice during the week, but they're our top 3 in our championship at the moment. Squidley, do you have any tips on who you're going to have your eyes on tonight?
Look, I'm a V-Corsa driver through and through, so of course my eyes are going to be on Adam V10, and congrats also to Suitlad kicking it in top split tonight. It's going to be great to see what he can come out with here. If he pins his ears back and does, just keeps his laps nice and clean, I think he'll actually see quite a good result, maybe towards the bottom half of the pack, but quite a good overall time, I would imagine. But someone who I've seen in practice doing really, really quick times as well, very consistent and looking after the tyres, hitting all of the boxes, Ando has been doing really well. I don't know if he'll be able to pull a win out with the likes of Fixer Chris, Apex, Pure Axel on the track tonight, but definitely one to watch out for.
Yeah, look, and being a flat-out racing team member myself, then I'm going to be a little bit biased towards Pure Axel, but jumping on the V-Corsa bandwagon and looking at Adam V, who's currently in 5th place in the championship, which is an uncomfortable spot for Adam V. He's normally one of the ones that's certainly in the top 2, never outside the top 3. He'll be wanting to claw his way back up to the top tonight. But back to what you were saying about Ando, he has the way he drives the car, he seems to get most corners a gear higher than a lot of other drivers, which does give him better fuel economy and does seem to look after his tyres better. And when it comes to enduros, that is the key. So Endo's certainly in with a chance as well.
Absolutely, and Stefko as well. Just another one up from Div 2 Split 2, I should say, last week. Stefko back up in Split 1, where honestly he belongs, but potentially had a couple of shockers or not great runs in the first 2 rounds of the season, but back up where he needs to be here now. Scooter 82, another one up from D-League. Trailed off, unfortunately, last season. Didn't quite attend as many races as he probably wanted to, but he's back in a team at the moment. He's back up in Div 1 for round 3, and part of Rusty's racing. So a lot of quick guys returning back to top split now.
Yeah, and look, you mentioned the Wheat Bix boy, and a bit of a treat for us tonight. We've actually got Stefko's going to join us in commentary from time to time. We might try and cross to him now. Stefko, can you hear us?
Loud and clear, gentlemen. How are we?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. So we're just out doing some practice laps at the moment before we start qualifying. How are you feeling with the track here, Stefko, and the car combination? You've been quick during the week practice, but tell us how you're feeling tonight.
Nervous, very nervous. I'm struggling with the Ferrari. I'll be honest. That's why I was down in Split 2 after my first round shocker. It's getting the weight transfer and everything right with this car that I'm finding very, very difficult, but fun car to drive.
Yeah, it is, mate. Thank you. And look, we'll cross over to you a couple of times during the race, and hopefully we won't disturb you too much. We'll pick our times, but thank you for joining us in commentary tonight.
Just quickly though, I've got to ask: is Mrs. Stefko and Mama Stefko cheering you on tonight, or are you flying solo?
Mrs. Stefko is definitely joining in. I think she'll be joining in the chat with the boys, and it's actually Grandma Stefko.
My apologies.
Big shout out to Grandma Stefko, who is actually watching live. So
absolutely, we value all of our audience of all ages, and look, it's going to be a fantastic show here tonight, and let's see, maybe Stefko can put himself on the top step.
Yeah, let's see.
Cheers, we'll call out to you through the race, and good luck to you, mate.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Stefko.
All right, so we've had a little bit of a technical issue, as seems to be expected with Gran Turismo Sport at the moment. A couple of glitches, Clocade not being able to be seen on track. Unsure exactly what's going to happen at this stage, but it looks like the host might pull the trigger and get this race underway. But at this stage, we're seeing the cars are lapping around on qualifying settings. We've seen Adam V10 pull out a fantastic 205.79, very closely followed by Apex.
Wow.
It's absolute rocketry here tonight.
Yeah, look, we spoke earlier, Squidly, and said that the pole position at this split will definitely be a 205. And, as I looked through YouTube during the week to try and find a track guide from the fastest guys in the world on how to handle this track, there weren't too many people in the 206s. So what we have here at Wheel to Wheel are some of the fastest guys in the world in Gran Turismo.
Absolutely.
And lap times are proving it.
That's it, and you look at the likes of some of our top drivers, and it really is incredible to see the caliber of the drivers that we have here. And when you watch a race, in particular these top split races, you see these drivers racing within centimetres of each other, and just it's very clean racing, which is just what you like to see.
Yep, and look, they're out on the track now for qualifying, and as we see, DJ Stefko is leading them around in the Wheat Bix machine. So he'll be the first one to go around and start posting a lap. He's not going to have any slip. Slip quite important on this track. There's a couple of decent straights, and it can make a big difference.
It is. These Group 4 cars, they just don't tend to... it's very hard to find a speed differential between the cars, and when you can generate that slipstream and you can capitalize on it, it really does become important. We'll see if Oily can tag on the back of Stefko for his poly lap. And then behind Oily, we've got a bit of a pack of cars with KZ, low side, Scooter, and Adam just behind him as well, as Adam pulls off to the side with clear air.
Yeah, and Suit Lad going by, but look who's slotting in behind Adam there. Fixer Chris, yeah, he's saying, no, mate, I want your slip. I'm not giving it to you. And the Rusties guys go through. They're playing the team game. Fixer Chris says, no, all right, I'll go with you, blokes.
Adam does like to find his clear air. He doesn't, the majority of his practice isn't done in slipstream, and so he practices his quali laps. And I think he finds that when you add slipstream in and it's a bit of an unknown quantity, it actually hinders his time. So he's going to go for an out of slip qualifying lap, and we'll see what he can do. But here we go. Let's jump on maybe with Stefko as he crosses the line, finishing his out lap and starting his hot lap.
So Stefko coming down, we'll talk you through a lap here. Stefko coming down the main straight now and into turn one. You want to break it lap at the 50 metre mark, down into fourth and into third for this turn. Really wide onto the ripple strip and up into fourth. You lift as you go into the left-hander here and then back on it, and you're just really modulating that accelerator to get turn in on this car. Just a little bit of lift will help with front end grip as it turns in, and back into third for the final right-hander and then up the hill. You'll hold it flat up through here as you climb into fourth and then into fifth around the left-hander, and as we come into Degner 1, you'll knock it back to fourth to help yourself get that turn in as Stefko's done.
And back into beautifully done.
Yep, some will go to third, some will go to second there. Stefko holds it in third and runs it up. He'll run it up to fourth or maybe even fifth here. Holds fourth and back to first for the tight left-hander.
Early on the power as he comes out of that. Beautiful.
And it's just flat out here now to all the way to the spoon. So the first corner in the spoon, you'll be in fifth gear as you're heading into it and knock it back to fourth to help get that turn in right here. And really modulating and being careful on that accelerator. He's already back to third, modulating that accelerator again, and now flat all the way to 130R. So all the way up this straight, there's no slip for Stefko. He's just holding that accelerator flat to the floor.
He's doing a great job. Up here, he's going to shift to sixth, and then about the 50 metre board he'll turn in. There'll be a slight lift.
Yep.
Holds it beautifully.
And as close to that 100 metre board as you can get is where you want to be braking. Into second, really pound these curbs. It doesn't seem to want to penalise you there, so you can be really aggressive on those curbs and hug that rail as you come around. So Stefko posts 2:06.4. I don't think that'll be enough for pole, but it's a good time still. So we've got Scooter 82. Gets 2:06 flat. Times are coming in now. Apex 2:06.1, Pure Axle 2:06.8, Ando 2:06.7, Fixer Chris 2:06.1, Adam V 2:06.3.
Oh God, Scooter's awfully close to that 2:05, but we're just not there yet. So we'll see what can be done on lap 2.
Well, Stefko's pulled off. He's had an issue.
He's had a mischief at turn 1.
We've got Tombo sitting in sixth place on the track at the moment behind Ando. He will have slip, so he'll be looking to improve on his time. Yep, and Scooter 82 is sitting behind KZ at the moment, so he's already got provisional pole. So he will be looking to improve his time as well as he goes through Degner 2. Let's see where his split time is. Well, he's a 10th down.
Tombo back behind Ando, just gone through his split. He is also a 10th down, but, well and truly in Ando's slip here.
We're not seeing a lot of improvement at this stage. Apex is up through Sector 2 and currently in third place.
We've got Scooter and Apex just about to finish off Sector 3 with KZ as well. Let's see what can be done here. just an aside as well, Cloquet has managed to jump back in the lobby, which is great. So we'll expect to see a cancellation of the race once they're on the grid, and it'll be a host will set the grid and throw Cloquet down and back.
Yep, well, Apex has just gone purple through that last sector, so coming into the Casio triangle now, right and then left. Will Apex steal pole position here? He'll have one more lap to do it if he can't do it this time. KZ sets 206.2.
205.8.
Oh, 205.8. There we go. And that was his last lap. Fixer Chris with a 205.8.
What's the difference?
And two 100ths of a second between first and second.
Beautifully done. That was, I think, incredibly close between first and second there.
Half a second between our top 6 drivers there at the moment. That is incredibly close racing. We have 28 laps of this to look forward to now.
Adam with a 206.30 as his fastest. That'll place him in 5th position behind KZ and Scooter and Fixer and Apex on the front row there. Pure Axel as well, just half a tenth behind Adam too. So two of the heavy hitters of the league, probably a little bit further down the order than we would have expected. But there's 28 laps here. Various different strategies, and we know that both of those guys are fantastic at either looking after their tyres or, in the case of Pure Axel, driving on worn tyres. He's always quick. Yeah,
absolutely. The qualifying certainly less important in these Enduros as they are in the sprint rounds. And Adam V does seem to have a knack for getting the best out of his car when he's following other people. He certainly does love to do that, whereas Apex will be one of those drivers who loves to lead. But as we get underway now, we will be restarting, so all of this is wasted energy at the moment. We'll be going into a manual grid to make sure that Cloquet gets to join the race.
That's it. Good quick call there from the host, so thanks low side for that. And we'll see everyone will jump straight back on track. We'll just see the lobby change from qualifier to the final very quickly. Cloquet will jump on track at the back.
So Fixer Chris with a lightning pole position there, and Apex right beside him. There's nothing in it between those two. Any idea? Well, they're both starting on softs. Unless they decide to change their tyres now.
That's it. On the front row, starting on softs and just trying to run away from the pack behind you is going to be the best strategy, most likely. But I guess there's also merit in, if you're on the front row and you run mediums and then defend hard, you can hold up the pack behind you, so they don't really get to use the extra grip that their softs will give them. And it means that when you switch to softs, you've got the whole, a free track in front of you. So there's merit to the idea of starting on both tyres, but we'll see what those quick boys start on.
Yeah, look, I'm certainly a fan of starting on the mediums. I don't mind slowing people down to improve my chances.
I mean, if I'm on the front couple of rows, it's almost always going to be a soft start for me. But, there are some tracks where, holding up your competition by running the lower tyre, if it's a hard track to pass on, it's a very valid strategy.
Absolutely. And, this is certainly not what I'd call a hard track to pass on, but these cars, they just promote close racing, and they promote... it is very difficult to make ground with these. Really, you've got a couple of opportunities here on this track because of the long straights. So you've got 2 long straights. So at the end of those, you've got a good opportunity, or during those straights, you've got a good opportunity to overtake. Really, beyond that, you need to wait for your competition to make a mistake. And as Adam V now asking if we can change tyres. So there's actually no ruling on that in the league, I've noticed. So I think some people did it in our race after qualifying. I changed to the mediums before qualifying finished, and I think when we restarted, I think a few people had took advantage of that and changed to mediums as well. But well, Squidly, you're our leader. What's your thoughts on it?
Look, there is. It's a grey area, to be perfectly honest. You can, if you run a single, a single qualifying lap and then jump out of the track and jump back into the pits, you can change your tyres. But we can also see in the comments here there's a bit of conversation. I would say that because other lobbies that don't have the opportunity to change tyres, I think that it would be unfair. So I think that we should probably make the executive decision that no change of tyres is the most fair to everybody in the league, noting that all 100-odd entries are racing against each other.
Yep. All right, well, there it is. So no changing of tyres when there is a race restart going forward. So unfortunate there, Adam. You don't get to take advantage of that.
He raises a good point, though. It is something that should be, brought up in the rules and that should be formalised. However, in this case, when in the other lobbies that didn't get to restart, then it introduces an element of unfairness. So try to keep it fair so that everyone can.
Changing undies allowed. Stefko's asked if changing undies is allowed as well.
Stefko, are you still on the line? I think you might have to elaborate about what's happened here.
Wheat Bix is full of fibre, so maybe that's got something to do with it.
I am you guys. I just had to do a quick weight reduction.
Did that occur inside or outside the pants, or do we not want to explore this territory?
Let's not go into it. Remember, Mr. Stefko and Grandma Stefko are listening.
What do we? Okay. What do we do about Cloquet versus Apex? I would suggest run it as is.
Cloquet versus Apex. What's he referring to? Cloquet was.
There's an issue. Cloquet can't be seen by Apex. And I think that at this stage we need to. Oh no, he can see him. Okay, perfect. No,
okay.
We're good to go. That's good. Good
All right,
news.
well, we're about to kick it off.
All right, we are a little bit late, and we do apologise, ladies and gentlemen, but we are underway. We've been dealt a bad hand tonight with with Gran Turismo Sport, and we had issues as well on the Div 2 stream, or the Splits 2 stream. So who do you think we should ride on board with, Devil, to start here?
Well, look, you've got Pure Axel starting at 6th. We know he's an aggressive driver. If there is a gap, he's going to go for it. So let's jump on board with Pure Axel.
I think Senna said something about that, whether or not you'd go for a gap. So let's watch Pure Axel and let's see what he can pull out of the bag for turn 1 on this 28-lap race at Suzuka.
All right, the revs are rising, and away we go. So everyone away cleanly. The first corner here will be... They'll bunch up as they go through, and they'll be... Oh, we're going 3 wide in with a couple. Pure Axel holding his line, very nice. But Fixer Chris leads them through. Apex slots in, everyone slots in. Very clean through the first.
Ando incredibly close to the AstroTurf there, but he gets it back in line. All the cars very close. Nicely line astern here with Fixer Chris right out front, and Scooter and Apex very close behind, looking to capitalise.
And as we run through, we've got Fixer in the lead on softs, Apex on softs, Scooter on softs. We go all the way back to Oil in My Blood, who's in 10th. He's on mediums. Captain Lowside is on mediums. Cloquet is on mediums, and Suit Ladder on mediums. So it's our final 4 drivers. Yeah, Oiley's got a penalty.
Yeah, he's got a cut penalty and he's back down into 13th place. So very unfortunate for him, but he's still going to have that slipstream, and hopefully he can. We know he is fantastic on his tyres. So there's plenty of race left.
I also was told earlier that Captain Lowside was practicing a one-stop strategy for the race. So 14 laps out of a tank of fuel around here is going to be tough. He's going to have to stay in slip and fuel save the entire race.
Looking at the way that he is shifting, though, I'm not sure that he's fuel saving. We'll see what happens, but we'll keep tabs on that around sort of lap 6 or so. We'll know whether or not he's looking to pit or not.
And coming into Casio Triangle for the first time, Fixer Chris leading the way. Apex close in behind, still in his slip. Scooter 82 right behind him. Adam V is in 4th. KZ in 5th. Pure Axel still in 6th. We've got Ando in 7th. Stefko in 8th. Tombo in 9th, and then Captain is our first medium runner, and he's the first one out of slip.
That's
so
right.
our soft,
There's a big old line of 9 cars, and then the 3 behind also all in slip. So we will see that that gap continue to widen, I'm sure. We see the pack breaking up just a little bit between Ando in 7th as he falls back on Pure Axel in 6th. But he looks to be making that up again. He'll be looking to really close that gap as much as he can, because if he drops that slipstream, he might find himself in a bit of strife. So at this stage, though, all line astern and keeping it very clean throughout.
Yeah, everyone seems to be very happy to follow at this point in the race. So no one's super keen to make any moves. They're very happy to stay in slip, save and preserve those tyres, save and preserve that fuel. And if everyone's doing it, I guess there's no advantage there, is there, Squidly?
That's it, and it's exactly what we found in Split 2. Keeping in slip and keeping that fuel burn low, it benefits the car in front if they get a bump from the car behind because they've got the extra speed, and it benefits the car behind because they're saving fuel. So, keeping that gap and staying in slip is going to be absolutely your friend in a race like this.
So Fixer Chris showing pace. Now he's 6/10 ahead of Apex, but Apex is not letting go of that slip. If you're driving the Megatron car at the moment, do you even try to overtake, or do you just give him the bump?
Look, I've never been as fast as either Fixer Chris or Apex Humper, so I wouldn't like to speculate what's going on in their minds, but when you know that you've got a driver of similar pace, particularly in my case, if I'm driving alongside someone similar, I'll always find that it's easier to stay in their slipstream and save that fuel and maybe try to jump in the pits.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that there's a couple of drivers in our split that were able to use that to their advantage. And Apex is he's a smart driver, so he's not going to make any stupid decisions here and try and take the lead when Fixer Chris is a fast driver. He can just punt in behind him and save everything.
That's it. We're just starting to see that sort of early battle pack of the top 4 drivers break away from the cars behind. Pure Axel now with a 1.2 second gap, just gets a bad run out of the second turn in the S there, and 1.2 seconds back behind Adam. So we've got a bit of a breakaway pack up in the first 4, and then another pack in the next 3 with Stefko just holding on there to Ando's slip and Tombo behind him.
Yeah, Tombo is the last of the soft runners. And he's right on the tail of Stefko there. Big gap now, almost 4 seconds back to Cloakade, who's our first medium driver. And then closely followed by Suit Lad and Oil in My Blood. Captain's obviously had an issue because he is a long way back.
Oh, he is. We've missed that.
We have.
Didn't see what happened. Very unlucky.
So he's revving low, so maybe he... no, just as I say that, he revs it out. So I'm just thinking maybe he is going for that one-stop strategy.
Time will tell. We'll keep an eye on him there. But Cloakade now 4 seconds, as you said, the first of our medium runners, 4 seconds back on Tombo, also shooting quite low there, and looking to save a bit of fuel. We'll expect he'll pit around lap 8 or so.
Yeah, the medium.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the medium guys will want to get off these tyres as soon as they can. So, anywhere between 8 and 10 laps is the most they will do on these. I would be guessing these drivers will be off them on 8, or maybe they could even do, if they did 6, that's 11 laps on softs. There's no reason why these guys can't do 11 laps on softs around here.
Yeah, that's right. There's definitely, there's a few different ways of skinning the cat of the 2-stop strategy. But something I just want to note as well, we've got on lap 2, Apex Humper ran a 2 minute 7 second 0.6 on just under 0.7 as his fastest lap. That's already 0.2 faster than the split 2 fastest time, which was run on the second stint on soft, so lower fuel. We might see times as low as 207.2, 207.1 for some of these faster guys when they get down into their second soft tyre stint and are running low fuel.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the moment they are not running flat out. They're running to conserve. They're running to make their tyres last. They're running to make their fuel last, and they want their first pit stop to be as short as possible. So we look where they're shifting, and I'm watching Apex now. He's not going all the way, so he's saving a fair bit of fuel at the moment. Although Fixer Chris, who is out in front, has used less fuel. So very aware of the fact that he doesn't have the tow, and making sure that he still saves fuel.
Yeah, he finds that balance really, really well, Fixer Chris does. He keeps that speed, and he's got that pace that he knows that he can save just enough fuel that is going to, be an advantage, but he's got that consistency to keep the speed up as well and stay out in front.
Yeah, and back in 5th as Pure Axle, 1.5 seconds off Adam V now. He's outside the tow, and what this forces him to do now is rev the car more. So he's going to have to use more fuel than the guys in front, just so that he doesn't drop way off the pace now.
That's it. I mean, Pure Axle kind of has two options at this stage. He can rev the car out and really try to close that gap up so that he can save fuel and when he gets back in Adam V's slip, or he can accept that he's not going to close that gap and then rev the car less and try to save the fuel now with an attempt to maybe close the gap in the pits by saving the fuel. So a couple of different strategies. We'll see what happens. He seems to be revving the car out to try and close the gap though.
Yeah, and look, we've said before, Pure Axle is one of those drivers who he wants to lead it. He'll want to get in front. So when he sees that gap, which is reducing now, but when he sees that gap, he'll want to cut that down real quick.
Yeah, definitely. Captain Lowside, lap 4 in the pits. He's just started lap 5. He's now done his medium stint. He's on soft tyres, and he has fuel to burn for probably about 10, 11. He'd be lucky to get 12 laps out, but he might be running that strategy, as you were saying, where he's going to run 11 or 12 laps on the softs.
Yeah, he's not going to get 11 or 12 laps. I don't think he took fuel on.
It doesn't look like he's taken much, so we'll see what happens here. Again, something to watch, but he's just come out of the pits on fresh tyres.
He has less fuel than Oily, who's in front of him. So Captain's just gone in and changed tyres and no fuel. So interesting strategy from Captain. We'll keep an eye on him as the race goes on and see where he ends up.
I'd say if he's come to grief and had a mischief or had a penalty or something, and that's caused him to fall back, he might be changing that strategy on the fly. But we'll see what happens here.
But back up the front, guys. Fixer Chris and Apex have now broken the tow from Adam V and Scooter, and they've broken out by themselves. So we've got a group of 2. Fixer Chris and Apex, and then we've got Adam V and Scooter 82 in another group of 2. And Pure Axle now almost in their slip. So Pure Axle's moved up to 5th, and he's almost back in slip again.
Yeah, what might have happened there, the gap from Pure Axle to first place looks to be fairly similar to what it was. We might have seen Adam V get a poor exit out of a corner, or potentially, no, I don't think he would have got a penalty, but maybe a poor exit, which has forced both he and Scooter back slightly. But Pure Axle now 8/10 back off Scooter 82, and very keen to get in that slipstream and get towed.
Yeah, and as from previous races, I would definitely say that, especially in these Enduros, Adam is one of the drivers who would much prefer to follow rather than lead at this stage. He's a master at looking after his tyres, and certainly in the earlier stages of these races. He seems to be more comfortable when he's following a driver rather than out in front. And as I say that, Pure Axel is now right under that rear wing of Scooter 82, so he's got the slip back now.
Definitely, he'll be looking to capitalise. Interestingly though, looking at the tyres throughout the pack, Apex Humper seems to have the best tyre wear of all the cars on, or all of the soft starters at this stage. You know, everyone else is fairly even along the board, but Apex with a significantly better tyre wear. So towards the end of this stint, we might see him, try to put a move on Fix Chris, or at least gain the confidence that maybe at the end of another stint later in the race that he'll have that additional grip and he's keeping it in store.
And it's not only his tyre wear, it's his fuel as well. And out of those front runners, Pure Axel surprisingly has the worst, or has the least amount of fuel. So he had to burn a lot of fuel to catch back up to these guys, and now he's got a few laps to save it behind Scooter 82. So it might be a smart move for him to stay in that slip and just save fuel for a few laps. But
this is Pure Axel.
As we go into turn one, yes, he shows the nose, but no.
He's trying to psych him out, I think. He shows the nose, he pulls out of it. We'll see what he can do maybe on the back straight, but he looks like he's keen and rip-roaring to get past.
Yeah, he's not one to follow, Pure Axel. He's definitely one to lead. So I imagine he'll be having a crack, but even if he can get in behind Adam V and work together with Adam to catch back up to Apex and Fixer Chris, and as long as he's saving fuel at this stage, that's where he needs to be. But Fixer Chris and Apex are now 2 seconds clear of Adam. These guys are clearing out.
Adam gets a little bit shaky on the exit of Degner 2, and we see Scooter Pure Axel making a move on the outside of Scooter. I don't know that he'll get it done.
Oh, no.
A little bit of lag there from Scooter has pushed Pure Axel wide. That's very unlucky.
Well, he hasn't lost slip, so he's still in slip at the moment, which is the important thing. And behind him, KZ on the inside of Ando, who now tucks in as we go through Spoon. So Ando right under the wing of KZ at the moment.
Looking very hard to catch up to Pure Axel and capitalise on this little bit of argy-bargy. We see Scooters put the moves on Adam V. This will be an interesting 130R here, side by side.
We're going too wide into 130R. Pure Axel looking on, saying crash, 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 but they get through clean. And Scooter 82's got the run. Pure Axel will make a move as well. He could go up 2 places here. Too wide into Casio. Scooter 82 makes the move stick. Pure Axel into 4th, and Adam V loses out 2 places there.
Beautifully done by Pure Axel. He read that situation perfectly. It was a fantastic defence and great drive by Adam through 130R to keep both cars separated.
And it's not over. It's not over yet.
Going. That's it.
Pure Axel goes through for 3rd. Scooter 82 wide, but holds on. Keeps it on the track. Geez, he was close to losing it there. He was on the AstroTurf.
He was, wasn't he? Pure Axel up 3 places. Oh, sorry, 2 places, I should say, in as many corners.
And while they've been battling, that's now allowed KZ and Ando to get back onto the tail of that run of 3, and they're all back in slip now. So we have 5 cars there from 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, all in each other's tow, and they'll be looking now. But look, are they going to battle it out? Of course they're going to battle it out. They can either... but they have the choice to battle, or they can start working together and try and bring down that gap to 1st and 2nd.
Which is now open from Pure Axel up to 4.2 seconds. So in the course of the last lap or so, that's basically doubled that gap with all the squabbling. But as we said, Pure Axel will take any gap that exists, and he's shown that here as he has done so and has now opened up a 4/10 lead over Scooter 82. 5 cars now in the slip of each other, with Tombo riding the slip just on the cusp there with Ando, looking definitely to capitalise on these possibly slower cars in front of him in the pack.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the fuel usage at the moment, and if I just compare Apex to Pure Axle, we're looking at almost 10% difference, I would imagine. So there's Apex and Fixer Chris are very similar, but these guys are going to make big gains in the first pit stop as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I want to go back. We have in 13th position DJ Stefko, who is going to be joining us from time to time. So he's coming around now to go through the Spoon. We might just let him go through Spoon and then see if he can jump on and have a talk. He's been in for a pit. He's got his medium tyres on. So Stefko, can you hear us?
I can hear you, but my head's still spinning after my little accident I had.
You had an excursion, did you?
I did.
What
130 got me good.
Unlucky, man.
Yeah, I think I spun around about 4 or 5 times. It was great. So glad you didn't get that on stream.
Yeah, no, we definitely missed that. So you've done a soft tyre run and you're on mediums now, Stefko?
I am indeed. Yeah, that spin just cooked my tyres, unfortunately.
Okay, you just went through the Casio Triangle and talked at the same time. I don't know how you did that. That's superhuman, so that's
Close my eyes, mate.
So you cooked your soft tyres with a spin. What are you looking to get out of your mediums now, Stefko?
Probably 11 laps or so.
Yep.
Oh, yo.
Oh, and he's made it around Cloquet. Nicely done.
That was scary.
It was. So you'll be, what are you sitting in Soup Lad's slipstream here?
Yeah, I'll sit in his slip, and he's on softs, I believe. So, yeah, I'll try and stay with him as long as I can and see where we go. And as he disappears off into the sunset, isn't it great?
I was just going to say, I don't want to give away his strategy, especially as he's one of my team members, but you already know that he started on medium. So, yeah, stick with him while you can, and
he's go.
good luck for the rest of the race, man.
Oh, good. Right. Thanks, guys.
All right. We'll check in again later.
See you guys.
All right, Captain Lowside in 10th with 20 seconds to make up on his teammate Oily. Now, he with that early pit stop on the 4th lap, he's down to about a quarter tank of fuel, which it's only going to get him 2 or 3 laps, and that has him pitting around lap 13, 14 if he's very lucky. And as I say that, he's on the AstroTurf. That's the commentator's curse if ever I've seen it.
Yeah, look, he's managed to hold on to that. That was amazing. I had a couple of moments going off onto that AstroTurf in my race, and I was very close to turning it around there too. And it's heart and mouth stuff when you hit that AstroTurf.
Absolutely. I'm going to stop following Captain Lowside now. I don't want to see what's happening there. I want to give him the best chance he can because he's obviously had some mischief early on. But if we look up at this battle between 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, Adam is just leading a train. He's managed to hold Pure Axle behind him. He pitted while we were having a chat there to Stefko, I think. No, sorry, I take it back. He hasn't. He's still on warm tyres. But he's back in front of Pure Axle. So something's happened there. He's managed to get in front, but he still leads that long train of cars.
Yeah, and look, that is a long train too. It goes all the way back to 8th now. Tombo, I thought Tombo was on mediums, but no, he's on softs. So Oily's out.
Run there out of the Degner.
Oily's still our first runner on mediums, and he's now 12 seconds behind Tombo. And I'm surprised he hasn't pitted already. He's really stretching out the stint on medium tyres.
Absolutely. 10 laps on mediums. He's probably... We know that the soft tyres go off at around lap 8 or 9, depending how well you look after them. So he might be just trying to nurse those mediums home, get the quick times that he can, and make it so that those soft tyres don't go off and really smash them out.
Yeah, well, he's the only one left out there on that started on mediums now. He's the only one left out there that's still on them. So...
Adam Ando. Ando has looks to have just fallen off the slip there of KZ as he gets a poor run out of the Spoon curve. Tombo very close under his wing, but as we enter the Casio Triangle and everyone bunches up, Adam looks to be able to get back in that slipstream. Apex in the pits, Fixer stays out.
Pure Axle in the pits, Adam in the pits. Scooter in the pits. Ando in the pits.
Chris looking for the overcut here as he gets a little wild into turn 1. I would expect that he would have to pit at the end of this lap, but looking at his fuel, he's got a quarter tank left. He's got fuel to spare, but he doesn't have a lot of grip to spare. Last lap in the 209, so he'll be looking to shift quickly as we see Apex exit the pits now on his medium tyres.
Yeah, look, race pace for these guys is around the mid 208s. So Chris dropping into the 209s now because he wouldn't want to do too many more laps on these softs. Even though he's got the fuel, he could do a few more laps. He wouldn't want to do too many, otherwise Apex is going to jump him really quickly when he does pit.
Sorry, we mentioned before, we were talking about Oily running on his mediums. He is running a very long stint. I think you're absolutely right with what you were talking about before. He's running a one-stop. Look at the fuel he's got left.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Oily with a one-stop. Maybe we'll see him in around lap 14 or so.
Geez, 14 laps on soft tyres. That's a big ask.
That's it. He's stretching it. But like I said, we know from his time on the Corvette in season 6, I think it was, or maybe season 7, Oily is a magician with those tyres. So this could be a workable strategy for him.
Yeah, 100%. Now, the pit stops here are about 32 seconds. So he's basically got 32 seconds up his sleeve. Now, as we look, he is currently 23 seconds behind the leader. The leader, you would think, has 2 pit stops to go. Oily has 1. So, provisionally, Oily is if he is doing a one-stop strategy, Oily is provisionally in the lead.
That's it. Now, we know that his times are going to suffer, though. His lap times will suffer, so that's... How much they'll suffer, we will see. I honestly don't know how to assess this, but we'll see what happens as we see Fixer, Chris, and KZ both into the pits as well.
Well, if we talk about lap times, Apex and Fixer Chris were doing consistently mid 208s in race pace. Oily's doing mid 209s and is now dropped into the 211s and 210s. So look, he is slower, but it's not 32 seconds worth slower. So this could be a winning strategy.
Yeah, exactly. If we expect that he's running sort of 2 to 3 seconds a lap slower, he's looking at what are we talking? There's 14 laps, so it's an interesting. It'll be close at the end, I think, but we'll see a very defensive Oily running on very worn softs. I think is going to happen.
Yeah, well, the drivers behind him now are on mediums as well. So Apex and Fixer Chris, who have pitted, they've come out to do their middle stint on mediums and short field on fuel in order to do that. Scooter 82's come out. He's doing another stint on softs. Pure Axle's come out on mediums. Also Adam. So that train of leaders there is very different in strategy amongst all of our drivers at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. So all drivers on track now with 1 pit to run. Scooter 82, like you said, running the softs. The other drivers, the front pack, running mediums. Scooter will be looking to break that slip of Pure Axle, which he's just looking like he's able to do now. But yes, Adam very well and truly inside Pure Axle's slipstream, looking to keep himself there, perhaps to capitalise on the fuel that he'll save in the slipstream. So
lining up, the race is shaping up to be a final 10-lap battle here. Those that are going to be on,
in split 1.
Yeah, and those that are going to be on the soft tyre, depending on where they come out of the pits, are certainly going to have that advantage over the last 10 laps. I'm really interested to see how Oily goes, because that gap that he had over Apex at the start of the lap has come down by 2 seconds. So Apex is really reeling him in quickly at the moment, and due to his
I mean, at this stage, they are racing for position, though. They both have one pit stop to go, and Oily would be perfectly within his rights here to defend hard and keep Apex behind him, knowing that they've both got a soft stint to run, and if he can keep him behind him as long as he can, then it's a flat-out battle on the softs at the end.
Well, Oily's going to come in, and where would you imagine Oily's going to come in? Do you think he's going to do 14 laps on softs?
I think he's going to have to. He's going to have to. I can't see him getting 15 laps out of a tank of fuel, to be honest.
All right, so if he's doing 14 laps, then that means he's pitting at next lap. So however many... Yep, end of next lap. So then he will get the undercut. So these guys will be on mediums, and he'll be on softs. So he'll actually be quicker than them over the next few laps.
Oh, he's pulled out to let Apex past. So, I mean, sportsmanship out the wazoo there from Oily. He knows that Apex is quicker. He's possibly looking to capitalise on the slipstream while he can, knowing that his group just isn't there.
Yeah, well, they're running different races, so I guess there's no point battling with him because they are running different races at the moment. I don't think he'll have any chance of holding on to his slip. Apex will pull away really quickly. And he's already out to 5 tenths, 6 tenths as we go through Spoon, 6.5. Yeah, look, he's not going to hold on to that slip for too long at all. But he'll come in and he'll go on softs while these guys are still on their mediums, and roles will reverse, so he'll start gaining time on them. Hopefully it's enough to get a good undercut and have a lead that he can defend over the last 10 or 11 laps.
Yeah, that's it, and it will be exactly that. Like you say, he will be in front, he will be on the defence, and I haven't seen the one-stop strategy tonight at all. I don't believe anyone in Split 2 ran the one-stop strategy, but Oily's out here to prove that it's valid, and he might just pull a cat out of the bag.
Yeah, I honestly think there are very few people that could make the one-stop strategy work. Oily's certainly one of them because, as you said, he is amazing at looking after his tyres. But there are too many people in the league that could make that one-stop strategy work, I don't think.
No, I think you're quite right. Scooter 82 with a beautiful run through turn 1. Really, really trying to capitalise on the soft tyres that he's running at the moment. He's definitely broken that slipstream that he was towing everyone around in. 4.3 seconds between he and Fixer Chris ahead of him, and definitely looking to close that down as he gets a purple sector for sector 1, 1/10 up on Captain Lowside's 207.3.
I'm looking at how they're spread from beyond Fixer Chris. So Scooter 82 in fourth, and of course he's running on the softs. We've got Tombo on softs in fifth. We've got Adam on the mediums in sixth, and then we've got Ando, KZ, and Pure Axle. There's been a big shift there, and I didn't take note of where they came out of the pits, but there's been a big shift and spread over that last pit stop.
Oh, there definitely has. I mean, Ando's back in front of KZ, which we didn't expect. Pure Axle possibly has come to grief somewhere as he's down in 9th.
Yeah, no, he hasn't come to grief. Yeah, no, I'm looking at his lap times. He hasn't come to grief anywhere. He had to use a lot more fuel to catch up to the group.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And I think that's where it's hurt him, because he had to fuel up with more fuel in the last pit stop.
Yeah, that's right. So he'll be looking to cling on to that slipstream from KZ. He's just outside of it at the moment, very keen to get inside. And then Suit Lad behind, 2.5 seconds behind Pure Axle, now running some worn soft tyres. And we'll expect to see him in around lap 18. So he's got about 4 more laps to run on those soft tyres.
Yep, and then followed by Stefko, who's running a long stint on these mediums now after an issue that we missed, but cooked his soft tyres. So
yeah, lap 5, unfortunately, and some rotations at 1:30 are very unlucky.
Yeah, look, I'm looking at his lap times. He's very consistent at the moment, so he's laying down lap after lap on these mediums and doing exactly what he needs to do. He'll probably run and Where did he pit? He pitted lap 7, so he'll run to about lap 18 and then finish off with a 10-lap stint on those softs.
Yeah, that's it. Just keeping it clean, pinning his ears back. He's got some clear track around him, cloquet out of slip behind him, so just looking to run a clean race and try to forget about everything else that's happening, really.
And then I'm looking at Captain Lowside back in 13th place. He's almost out of fuel again.
That's it. This will have to be his last lap as he gets up to lap 15, I should say, the end of lap 15.
So Captain might be running the 6-stop strategy here tonight.
Well, he's got 2 options. I mean, we're basically at half race distance. In fact, where he is halfway along the track now is going to be roughly half race distance. He's got 2 options. Is he going to pit a 3rd time, or is he going to take his 2nd pit stop and try to make those soft tyres last as long as Oily will?
Well, yeah, he's not going to make his fuel last any longer, so...
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether he, after the race, I'm sure he'll tell us whether he's entered the pits and accidentally not taken fuel, or whether this was strategic, or whether there was a glitch.
And
we'll have to see what happens.
And look, it's easy to do when you come in the pit. You're hitting that button, quick, and then you accidentally hit it too many times and you don't refuel.
Oh, I've done that more times than I care to admit.
But out in front, Apex is marching away from these guys at the moment. Near 4.5 seconds clear of Fixer Chris. And his medium tyres are looking fantastic. He's running around in mid-208s on mediums. Chris is doing the same thing, so they're not making ground or on each other. We've got Scooter 82 on those softs, who's doing same lap times.
Yeah.
So
wow.
he's not getting any advantage of those softs on the guys in front at the moment, but looks to have bit of an advantage over Tombo in 4th place. And as I look at Tombo, that paint job is looking very scratched up. He's had a bit of grief, Tombo. He's been we've missed a lot of it, but he's certainly been in close quarters with other drivers looking at that paint job. Yeah.
We've seen Oily on My Blood has just come into the pits as well as he starts lap 16, so he will be running 13 laps on his soft tyres. So he's obviously got an additional lap out of the mediums, which is great to see. And we've also just seen Captain Lowside as he exits the pits as well after he was very low on fuel too. So Captain Lowside, the jury's out on. We'll have to just see what happens with the way that he runs the rest of his race. We know what Oily's doing. He'll be saving fuel. Sorry. I've just seen Oily as he entered the first Degner. One of the 100 board marker is actually run off the track, so it looks like someone might have actually had some mischief there. Potentially Tombo, if we look at the scratches on that car.
Yeah, yep. But I'm looking at Oily as he's driving, and he is short shifting that car significantly at the moment. He's got no one around him to give him any slip and give him any assistance. He's 21 seconds behind Stefko, 25 seconds ahead of Captain. So he's not likely to come across anyone at the moment, anytime soon, to give him any assistance either. So, wow, he's still running his fuel at full map. At full power, so but short shifting that Ferrari significantly to make that fuel last at the moment.
Yeah, Tombo, I'm actually not sure that it was Tombo that had the issue there at the Degner, because Tombo out in front of Adam V10 and up into 4th position, 2 seconds clear of Adam. He actually seems to be running a lightning race right now. If you'll excuse the pun with the lightning when that actually wasn't intentional. But, I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, look, he does really well at saving his tyres and saving his fuel. For someone that drives on a controller, I'm amazed every week at how well he does. And we saw last season when he got punted down to split 2 there for one race and just blew everyone away. And you know, the speed that he gets and the tyre wear and the fuel saving he's able to achieve on the controller mesmerises me every week.
Broken Spoke's another one who runs the controller and is, likewise. I think he also runs automatic transmission, but he saves his fuel using the fuel maps, and he's a quick driver. I've had some great battles with Broken Spoke, who also is the backbone of the admin for this league as well. And a personal shout out to Broken Spoke. The amount of effort that man puts in week to week in running the back end of this league and keeping everything ticking over is just inhuman. So personal shout out and thank you to Broken Spoke for your efforts, mate. I do appreciate it, and as do all of the other 100 members of this league.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it is a league of volunteers, the guys that run it. And as we've seen, the league certainly split one of some of the fastest guys in the world. So anyone's watching this stream and they're sick of the punt fest dailies that people complain about all the time on Facebook, you want to come and race against the best in the world, have some hard and fast driving, then wheel to wheel's where the action is. But as I say, grab a replay.
No, grab a replay. We've just seen Tombo run wide. So if we can actually grab a replay there of Tombo as he enters turn one, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he's just run wide and Adam's in front. So Hammy, take it away. Oh, so you've seen it, that the world's seen it. Really unlucky there, Tombo. All right, I'll go back to you, Devil. I think Apex just jumped into the pits.
Apex has gone. He must have gone into the pits. I can't find him. He's in 10th place, but I can't select him at the moment. So is he out of the pits yet?
Yeah, he's out of the pits now. He's just entering the second
there
S.
we go.
Yeah, that's it. He jumped into the pits with 4% of fuel remaining. He's back onto the softs. He's fueled right to the top with 10 laps remaining. He's looking not to short shift here.
No, he's going to go hard. The tyre wear won't be an issue, and if he's fueled right up, then fuel won't be an issue. He's going to drive this hard to the finish. 35 seconds behind Fixer Chris. I'm pretty sure the pit stops here at 32 seconds, so...
He's gone hashtag full send, but, I mean, he's running soft tyres, not fuel saving, whereas Chris is on medium tyres with the fuel saving. Maybe we'll see Chris go into the pits this lap, maybe the next one, but either way, Apex is definitely going to make some ground up here.
Yeah, well, he had a 4 or 5 second lead when he went into the pits, unless there was an issue beforehand. So I would imagine his lead once Fixer Chris pits would be even more than 4 or 5 seconds, because yeah, here we go. Fixer Chris is in the pits, so we're right on with
18% remaining though too. So who knows? We might see Chris saving a little bit of time on in the fuel there. Ando with 6%, Adam with 13%,
KZ with 21.
Oh, beautiful fuel saving there from KZ.
But stay on board with Apex as he comes through Casio now. We'll see where Chris comes out in comparison. Coming around onto the main straight now.
Apex not looking to muck around. Chris just getting the fuel in. He's definitely coming out behind Apex.
Oh, it comes out in front, but Apex has got the speed, so he'll get the lead going into turn one. He's got it.
Will he keep the slipstream? That's the question. He's 1 second back. He's out of the slipstream. Apex really going to be looking to punch ahead. Apex with more fuel as well. Slightly more tyre wear, as to be expected. His tyres are a lap older, but
he's got warm tyres. Chris is still out there on cold tyres. It'll take him half a lap at least to warm up, so... Geez, this is really Apex's race to lose now. He's
as Apex goes a 10th up purple as well.
Wow. All right, so Tombo still has a pit stop to do. He's 22 seconds ahead of Apex. Scooter 82 still has a pit stop to do, and he's got to come on mediums. He is 27 seconds ahead of Apex. So the big question now, well, Oiley's back in 7th. He has no pit stops to go, and I don't think that one-stop strategy is going to work for him.
My goodness, I'm watching Apex right now. Apex 1.2 tenths up on the fastest lap, and Fixer Chris, who exited the pits just over a second behind, now has a 6/10 gap
wow.
from Apex. He is absolutely flying. Chris
This is going to
really
be. This is
looking
really
for
going to
that
be a
gap.
brawl. These last 10 laps is going to be a brawl between these two guys, isn't it? They've run a perfectly strategized race here up until this point. They've got themselves here using as little fuel and as little tyre as possible, and then they've gone into the pits, they've put their softs on, they've fueled up, and they've said we're going 100% now. It's a 100-metre sprint race to the end. And wow,
Chris
Fixer
is
is
under his
right
bumper.
under his wing now as we go through
Under his
Casio.
Fantastic racing. It's just proof that Chris is actually not human. He is an artificial intelligence construct.
Well, it was a lap ago. He was a second behind. He was out of the slipstream, and I said it's Apex's race to lose. Well, I don't know that was accurate. Now it's Fixer Chris can take a win from anywhere.
This is phenomenal. I have not seen pace like this before. This is incredible. I'm speechless. Okay, Fixer Chris in the slipstream of Apex. I don't know that he'll be looking to muck around. He's got 8 laps to put the move on. I guess the question at this stage is whether he's going to save a bit of fuel so that he can rev it out hard later in the stint, or whether he's really just going to look to put the move on Apex as soon as he can and out in front.
Well, he does have a bit less fuel than Apex, but I think he's still got enough fuel to get to the end. So I don't think either of them have. Oh, Apex runs wide, still a 10th under the fastest lap, but Fixer giving him a bit of a punt, giving him hurry up as we go through the hairpin.
Has the fastest lap. It looks like Apex wasn't able to make his last purple on the last lap stick. But that's exactly right. Fixer also purple in the second sector, but possibly held up there by Apex.
Sorry, the action back in 6th at the moment. Ando has just taken it from Tombo. Pure Axel has taken Tombo. So that we have a train there for 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th with Oily in 9th. This seems to be where the action is at the moment, but you would think Oily's going to struggle to hold on to these guys, although his tyres, of course his tyres are looking fantastic.
I actually think what's happened here is the 3 in front who are all running, no, they're not all running, but Tombo on the mediums, I think they all might have just come out in front of him, in front of Oily after their last pit stops. So we might see Oily try to overtake Tombo, but with those other 2 drivers in front, Pure Axel and Ando, I'm not sure that we'll see Oily able to catch those 2.
Well, we saw it I think the last round or the last round with the Ferraris, I forget now. Tombo was able to come home on mediums and put in a great final stint just by staying in the slipstream of soft tyre runners in front of him. Obviously it worked well for him then. He's looking at doing that again tonight. And
it's a valid strategy. I got to be honest, I did it tonight. I tried to stick in Zoo's slipstream as much as I could. Shout out to Zoo, thanks for the tow. But it's a valid strategy if you can use that additional speed that you get on the straights and reel them in for all of the speed that you lose in the corners on your medians when people are running softs around you. Again, it's just another tool you've got in your toolbox to try and keep up with those faster guys on the faster tyres.
Guys, just out in front, Apex purple again as we come into the hairpin. Fixer Chris seems to be happy to follow along behind at the moment. There's no point saving fuel. There's no point saving tyres, Fixer.
Oh, they're both full send.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So that's certainly not holding anything back at the moment, but Apex going purple here through and this is where you would expect them to be purple. They're on softs, they're on their lightest fuel weight. So this is where they're going to be their fastest. And let's put yourself in Fixer Chris's seat here. What do you do, Squidly? Do you follow him along for a few more laps, and do you have a crack at the last lap? Or do you try... Oh, as we say
drivers,
that...
yeah,
he shows the nose,
drivers,
tucks
with the speed and the pace that they have, if I was in Fixer Chris's shoes, I'd be taking the opportunity as soon as I can. Here he goes. Doesn't go too deep, though.
Oh, he goes wide, but he's got the inside run. Oh, they're too wide as they come through the last corner.
He's left Apex barely enough room when he exited the Casio triangle, but the room is there. We'll see if Apex can take that back. He flashes the blinkers to say thanks and sorry. Maybe just a little bit, not too much room. Apex
Nope.
diving out again. We'll see what he can do under brakes here. Oh, is that fix-up?
Oh,
he keeps
yes,
it off the
he gets
AstroTurf.
it back. He gets it back.
Fantastic racing, both of them, as they leave themselves just enough room.
They're 8-9 seconds clear of third, so it's really a no contest. It's these guys to battle it out for first and second at the moment. And the way we do our scoring here in wheel to wheel is on total race time. So whether you come first or second, it doesn't affect your points. Of course, you get bonus points for coming first, but it's not significant. So really, what you want to do is your total time. But geez, when you're talking 6 laps to go, and you've been nose to tail the entire race, these guys are going to go, no, I want the win. I want the win.
Absolutely. They're having it out, and I think that we will see 6 laps of just flat-out raw battling between these two.
So certainly the action here at the moment is at the front with Apex and Fixer Chris. We've also got a bit of a battle for third with Scooter 82 and Adam V. Adam is
Adam
right
up
in
on
Scooter's slipstream as well.
On
However,
soft tyres too.
yeah, that's right. Scooter's leading him on mediums and Adam is on softs. So I would imagine Scooter's actually holding him up at the moment. But we know Adam likes to follow along, so he will be more than happy to put pressure on Scooter 82 and pressure and pressure and pressure. And if he holds him up too much, he'll just go for it. But he'll be right on that tail of Scooter 82 like he's got a 2-foot string. And he pulls out. He pulls out. He's got a better exit coming out of Spoon, better grip with those softs. And as we come into 130R, he's on the inside run. No break from Adam. Scooter touched the brakes. Adam went through flat, and he's got the position.
Fantastic. And we see the next thing that we're likely to see here is going to be Pure Axel on Tombo. He's all over the back. I actually thought he was going to do it through 130R, but it wasn't
he's got
time.
him. Pure Axel on Ando.
Sorry, what did I say? On Adam.
On
no,
Tombo.
Yeah, Pure Axel
yeah.
on Ando for 6th position.
Pure Axel will show the nose here.
Oh,
whether he sends it, I bet you he shows the nose. No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
He
All right.
thought about it. He's gone for the psych out strategy. Will I do it? Will I not? Wait and see.
So these guys are both on softs. There's nothing in it for fuel and tyre. These guys are very even at the moment. It's an arm wrestle to the end for 6th place between these two.
It's a hungry Pure Axel.
And KZ is only just up the road, so if these guys battle too much, it's just going to make it an easy 5th place for KZ.
All 3 cars in an identical position for fuel and tyres too, so this really is just purely down to driver skill and raw talent at this point.
Yep, and Tombo, who's on those mediums, has dropped off. He was right up on that pack as well, but he's dropped off. Oily, who's finishing on some worn softs there, is look at this stage, I'd say he's happy to follow along behind Tombo because he needs to save fuel.
Has something happened to Tombo? I thought Tombo was actually in front of Adam very recently. I might be wrong.
There might have been an incident that we missed there. He certainly dropped off his pace, but he is on the medium tyres as well. So
yeah, we'll watch his lap time and see what happened. I could have sworn he was just in front of Adam V10 there in 3rd, but I would have my wires crossed as Pure Axel gets quite a decent run out of the Spoon curve here, completely underneath Ando, and I'm sure that with only 5 laps to run, Ando's going to try and defend here.
Oh, Pure Axel pulls to the inside. They're too wide as they go. Oh, no, Ando's given him the position.
Ando might be wanting to play the long game here and try to catch both of them up to KZ and hope that they both can add an extra position.
Well, that's the thing too with being a driver like Pure Axel, who's known for going for that gap. If there is a gap there, then his opposition know he's going to go for it. So,
and likewise, Ando knows that he'll go for it too. And if he ends up on the inside of KZ, there's a chance that Ando can also capitalise, and Ando knows that.
And guys, just out in front at the moment, Fixer Chris has taken the lead from Apex. So these guys are seesawing. Looking at Apex's last lap at 2:07.5. It's only 2/10 off the fastest lap. And Fixer Chris has done a 2:07.8. So as their fuel weight gets lower, these guys are getting faster and faster. But I'm looking at the tyre wear between the two at the moment, and Fixer Chris is looking a little bit better on the tyre wear.
Yeah, Apex maybe having reached his limit. We know that he pitted 1 lap earlier than Fixer Chris, so Chris maybe just lacing up his skates with the upper hand here.
Yeah, look, this has been a monumental drive from these guys. They've certainly been a class above anyone else. You know, they're nearly 10 seconds clear of Adam V, and
which is all of really saying something.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
And Scooter as well.
Adam V and Apex were arm wrestling the entirety of season 8. And they were nose to tail. So the fact that they're 10 seconds clear of Adam V is it shows the dominant performance that these two will put on tonight. And you can separate them by less than 2/10 at this point. 24 laps down, and they're 2/10 apart from each other.
That's it. No, and it's I mean, I guess the possibly internal chat in V Corsa, but Adam taking a little bit less of a front seat here this season. His practice definitely isn't what it was last year, and he's taking more. He's taking more of a family role this season, and he said that at the start. He's going to be doing less practice. He'll be on less during the week, and this, you know, is likely to be a byproduct of that.
Oh, we've got a spin at Casio.
Who is
we've
it?
got a Suit Lad.
Unlucky. Oh no!
Suit Lad has gone around.
Unlucky Suit Lad.
So as we come around to start lap 25, we might do one last check-in with our mate DJ Stefko in the Wheat-Bix car. TJ, are you there?
I'm here, boys.
Tell us about your race, mate. You're finishing on the softs. It's a long stint on the softs. How are you going?
I'm more of a Sunday drive now. I'm the spin was really demoralising. I'm not going to lie, and yeah, it's just trying to make up what I've lost, unfortunately. But them's the breaks.
So just looking to consolidate your position here at the moment, not lose anything. At the moment, you're 31 seconds off Fixer Chris and Apex, who are 10 seconds clear of third place. So they're in Alien League. They're in Alien League. So even with a spin, look, you've put up a great performance here tonight.
Oh, cheers,
but how are those softs feeling? You've still got 3.5 laps to go.
Yeah, they're jelly. Yeah, they're not going to lie. They're starting to wear. I'm really starting to feel it now. But as I said before, it's just more of a Sunday drive for me now. Just cruising to the end.
Sunday drive, but you ran a 2:07.7 a couple of laps ago, which is that's not mucking around, mate.
That was the one lap I was trying to go for fastest lap, but Cap looks like he's got that in the bag.
He has. I'm not sure how exactly he ran that. Could have something to do with his pitting on lap 4. I don't know.
Possibly, but yeah.
It seems not to have worked out for him though. He's 12 seconds back behind Suit Lad, and I think that's to do with the additional pit or the... No, he didn't do an additional pit. He is running. Oh no! Oh no! I looked at low side, and he's just ran wide on the AstroTurf. I'm a terrible person. I'm sorry, low side.
Can you say it for some of the front runners now, please, Stuart?
Yeah, let's focus on Chris and Apex. No, low side running out 15 laps, I think. No, 14. No, I was wrong. 14 laps on the soft tyres here. So, all right, shit. He's just run wide again. Let's stop looking at him. Let's talk about Stefko. Tell us.
I'm scared for you to talk to me now.
Yeah. Look, you keep it on track for another 3 laps, and we'll check in you right after the race.
Sounds good, boys.
All right. Thanks, DJ. Cheers. Back out in front, we've got Fixer Chris and Apex, still nose to tail. There's nothing in it. They're still 10 seconds ahead of Adam V, so a little bit of battling that they're doing is probably slowing them down a little bit, but no one's going to catch them at this point.
That's it. I think Adam seems to be closing that gap in, though. He was out at 11 seconds a couple of laps ago. He's definitely not going to catch them, but he's doing his darndest to close the gap anyway.
Yeah, he's in a bit of no man's land at the moment, so 10 seconds behind Apex, 3 seconds ahead of Scooter.
He'll be
Scooter,
thrilled.
of course.
That's where he likes to be, out on his own.
Yep, Scooter finishing on those mediums, and he's got Pure Axel hunting him down at the moment, who's on some softs and is 1.2 seconds behind, but you would think he's a good chance of bringing him in at the moment.
Yeah, battle for fourth and battle for first will be the two to watch, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. KZ is right behind Pure Axel as well, so he's certainly in the mix and is in Pure Axel's draft, so he can go with Pure Axel. And Ando, who's also finishing on softs, but is just out of the draft at the moment, so he's got a bit of work to do to catch up to these guys. If he does catch up to them, then currently in 7th, he's actually got a chance. If he can get onto the tail of KZ, he's actually got a chance to go from 7th to 4th in the last 2 laps.
That's it. He is well positioned, but he's got 2 laps to do it. Incidentally as well, I've just discovered why Tombo's car looks like it's been through a trash compactor. Little bit of glitching. Tombo was in space for me a second ago, several kilometres above the track, but he is back on track now, 7 seconds behind Ando, running the medium tyres and just pinning his ears back. He's still a second in front of Oily, so Oily doesn't look like he's been able to overtake Tombo, running the soft tyres for his 13-lap stint. But, Tombo cracking on.
So you're saying atmospheric re-entry damage for Tombo, is that where it's come from?
I think that might be the case. There's a little bit of burn up on re-entry, but he is back on the track now, and we'll see what happens at the end of the race. Ando nearly within slipstream distance now of KZ. He's so close.
Yeah, look, we'll follow this battle here for 4th because, geez, if Ando can get up, then we've got 4 cars battling it out for 4th in the last lap. And we'll also keep a very close eye on this battle for the lead.
Yeah, you keep monitoring the one back there, and I'll yell loudly if anything happens up in first.
All right, well, they're coming through 130R now, so certainly keep an eye on those guys. Adam V is out in clear for 3rd, so he's got that stitched up unless something happens. But certainly Scooter 82, Pure Axel, fighting it out for 4th. KZ seems to have dropped off a bit. He's out of the slip now, so it's down to Scooter and Pure Axel for one last lap. Scooter on the mediums, Pure on the softs.
That's actually unfortunate for Ando as well, because it means that if he does get KZ, he's not going to have that clear run up. So the best he'd be able to do now, all others holding their positions, would be to overtake KZ there and snag 6th.
Scooter, massively defensive here. He hugged that inside wall, making Pure Axel go the long way around, and Pure Axel's having a crack, but no.
Holds very wisely on the brakes early there. It's a dodgy place there, off camber and very fast right-hander.
They were too wide as they went into turn 1, which is a scary place to be on worn tyres. And he's battling, he's all over the back end of him now. He's got to stay there and try and slip him along the next straight, maybe going into the hairpin.
That's it. Scooter's going to do absolutely everything that he can here to drive defensive. He's going to embody his inner Con 008 and he's going to make that car as wide as the track.
And he really is too. You've watched him position through the S's. He put his car right in the middle of the track, and he's making Pure Axel work for this position.
You'll see him here. He's going to go hard left if he needs to, but there's just not going to be the overlap anyway.
No, Pure Axel can't do it there. If he gets a good run,
2 more chances.
He didn't get. If he got a good run out of there, he would have had a chance going into the spoon, but he didn't get it. So he needs to follow him through the spoon and slip him up into 130R if he's got any chance. It's the last chance he's got.
Fixer and Apex, incidentally, still separated by 4/10. Apex in second, and unless there's a miracle and Fixer runs off at 130R, we're going to see Fixer. Oh God, we see Apex really flirting with the AstroTurf there. Through the Casio triangle, on his bumper. And it's
follow
going to be
those.
Fixer Chris for first, Apex Humper in second.
Oh, and as we go through 130R, Scooter 82 just hip and shoulder pure axle, a little bit wide there, and we're in through Casio. Scooter 82's got fourth place locked up. Adam will get third. Coming across the finish line now, Scooter 82 in fourth. He's held off pure axle in fifth. KZ bringing it home for sixth. Ando has run out of fuel on the line,
Oh, he gets it over,
but still gets seventh.
he's close.
Tombo for eighth. Oil in my blood has brought it home in ninth on one pit stop. Cloquade for 10th. Well done, Cloquade. Stefko
with a
sliding.
go flick on the line. Outstanding.
Suit Lad for 12th. Captain Lowside way back in 13th.
He has come to grief. No, he hasn't. He has pitted again, I think, at some point
He
in the last
pitted-
couple of laps.
Yeah,
He's
to lap
pitted
25.
again. There
Lap
you go,
25,
that'd
he pitted again. So he was going to trying to better his quickest lap, I'd say.
Yeah, a race to forget for Mr. Lowside, very sadly. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. Captain Lowside bringing us home in 13th. Let's talk to Stefko. Let's tell us about your feel overall for that whole race.
I hate Suzuka.
All right, we'll go to the more important metric. What does Mrs. Stefko and Grandma Stefko think of your performance tonight?
I've yet to see whether Mrs. Stefko has set me up on the couch. After last week, I was allowed to sleep in the bed, which is cool, but this week I might be on the couch. Unfortunate.
Look, it's a tough track. It's a long race, and you did a fantastic job there. That's a solid finish. I mean, yes, it's 11th, but look at your overall time. You weren't
pretty
mucking
happy.
around. Yeah,
Pretty
absolutely.
happy with it, considering today I only did 10 laps of practice probably
man.
in a race, so I'm happy with that. Can't complain.
No, definitely.
Now, well done, Stefko. Certainly having Wheat Bix for breakfast helps out, but maybe if you had Nutrigrain, you wouldn't have had that one spin, eh?
Mate, Wheat Bix and waifu, that's what I'm talking about.
no,
Great
Grandma's
race tonight,
listening.
Stefko. Well done. Congratulations
guys.
as well. Fixer Chris and Apex Humper. A dominant performance from both of those drivers. And then to finish after 28 laps, an hour and 1 minute of racing, 2/10 apart from each other, is phenomenal.
Yeah, look, an incredible race there. To say after 28 laps that they're separated by 2/10, who would have thought that? It really makes me look forward now to the other Enduros we've got coming up, and of course the Super Enduro at Bathurst to finish this season. So any of the viewers that aren't in Wheel to Wheel, geez, join if you want to get into that Super Enduro at Bathurst, because who doesn't love racing there? And also the racing action that you've all seen tonight has been brought to you by our sponsors, who are, of course, Future Youth Clothing in Melbourne. We have racers in Queensland who are supporting grassroots racing. We have Pagnian Advanced Imports, who will set you up with all the simulation gear that you need, and Next Level Racing, who have all of the rigs that you'll need to join any of these types of racing series, and preferably, obviously, Wheel to Wheel if you want to race against the best in the world.
Absolutely. Big shout out to all of our sponsors. Big shout out to all of our racers. Big shout out to all of our admin team, commentators, data entry, and a big shout out to all of our audience. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents. That brings another week of Wheel to Wheel to a close. Next week, back in the Group 3s, I believe. I could be wrong.
Yeah, we're back in the Group 3s, and I had that calendar up before. We are racing at...
Oh, Fuji for 6, 12 and 18 laps in the Group 3s. So definitely stay tuned for that next week. We'll be coming to you live again at 5:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And we will see you then, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me, Devil, and for Hammy on the visuals.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Great stream.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers, guys. Have a good
See
night.
you next week, everybody.